Girl, this Miami heat is insane. I need good vibes and a nice little refreshment right now, but I don't even feel like stepping back out in this heat.
Say no more. I got you. Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Oh, you trying to be funny.
I'm just saying, Starry Lemon Lime Soda is good vibes and a great taste in a can. I know you're a homebody, so you don't have to leave your house for what you're looking for, and you're an early bird, so no caffeine for you.
All right. Okay, you think you know me.
And do.
I'll give it to you. This is fire. Like a crisp, you know what I mean? Just good, clear bursts of lemon lime flavor. I'm into it. Okay.
Looks like you'll be seeing another soda this season. Peace out to your old thing.
I know that's right. It's all about elevating on this side. On to bigger and better in every aspect of life.
Find Starry now in stores and online.
There's a time and a place for everything. We also can't be demanding and asking things of men if we're also not showing up. If you're expecting to attract a certain type of man, then there's a certain type of woman you have to be.
Hi, I'm Krystal Vega.
Hi, I'm Amanda Booz, and this is Elevators Podcast, where we talk about the peaks and valleys of life's journey, from relationships, entrepreneurships, all the ships, and we give you a little taste of social media's sizzling hot topics, all from the lens of modern womanhood. Girl.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey.
How have you been?
I've been good. How are you?
Same.
You look cute.
Thank you.
Loving the outfit. Thank
Are you running
you.
for president?
I might.
Kamala, move over.
I might, that's my soror. You see, I got my apple green on, if you know what I mean.
I haven't seen you since the Hispanic Heritage Month / Latin Heritage Month.
Event. I know, and I had so much fun.
Baby, we had a time.
Oh my goodness. Can I tell you, we were there from like 3 until like 10 o'clock at night. I know Alexis was like, y'all got to get up out my house. Like, we had so much. I can tell you honestly, I've never sat there and laughed so much with a group of women I met for the first time. Outside of you and Casey, I knew no one else there.
Yeah.
And I laughed so hard.
Girl, I went home to Will and I was like, we had a time.
We did.
We had so much fun. And I was just really like grateful so as you know, like Fortune and Forks Social Club for women of color, for those of you who don't know and who are watching and tuning in. But, since we've been doing Fortune and Forks, I've always wanted to do something for like Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm Puerto Rican.
Yes.
So this year I really took the initiative to make sure we hit the mark. And I was just really grateful that all women of color came together to celebrate their play Hispanic and Latin cousins. I was very appreciative of that. And we had so much fun.
We had a great time. We had an amazing time.
But speaking of Spanish, you have lived in Miami for so long, and I'm not going to lie, you don't talk enough Spanish for me.
Oh, because I'm not Hispanic?
But you've lived in Miami, and I feel like inheritedly, living in Miami.
You know a little Spanish?
You have to know a little bit of Spanish.
Fun fact, I actually took 5 years of Spanish in high school, which I honestly thought about it now. I'm like, being that my dad is Haitian and my mom's Jamaican, I should have took French. But I'm like, whatever, I'm going to learn Spanish, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like I know a little something, though.
A little?
A lot. I feel like I know a lot.
A lot?
Yes.
We're going to have to test that.
Let's test it. Let's do it.
Say good morning in Spanish.
Buen dia or buenos dias.
Okay. All right. Say.
Give me something else. Give me something harder.
Okay. Say Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
Bad Bunny.
Oh my God.
Give me something else.
Okay,
Give me something
I thought you
else.
said you knew Spanish. What happened?
Oh, Bad Bunny got a different name?
Well, for the record, the actual Bad Bunny translation is El Conejo Malo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Bad Bunny.
It's me saying Bad Bunny.
Okay, this one you have to know.
I'm embarrassed.
No, that was really cute though. You tried.
I tried.
Okay, how about okay, you have to know how to do this one.
Okay.
Order a Cuban coffee.
Mommy, can I please get un cortadito with a little canela on the top?
Baby, that was Spanglish and barely.
I know when I go to my Cuban spot, I give me a cortadito with...
And that's exactly how you order it too. You be like, Mommy. I'm like, that is not enough
She's
Spanish,
been there
Amanda.
with me. Mommy, por favor, dame un cortadito with canela. And canela is cinnamon for those who don't know.
All right. But for the record, is puedo tener un cortadito, por favor.
Okay.
Just so you know. You can still throw in the mommy in there.
Oh, I'm gonna always say mommy.
Period.
Because when they talk to me, they call me mommy, and I'm like, okay, mommy.
It's all about confidence. That's it.
It is all about confidence.
The conjugations get me every time.
Listen, you walk. I always say you gotta walk up in a place like you belong there, and nobody's ever gonna know you don't belong.
Hello.
So, and speaking of confidence, on today's episode, we are gonna be talking about the 5 traits that women should have in order to evolve.
And to continue practicing to evolve as a woman, as a grown woman. Because we in our 30s now, honey.
We in our 30s, and I feel like there's no better time than now. I feel like a lot of people wait till the new year to get their stuff together, but
today,
you can get your stuff together at any point. Today is a great example. So we're going to talk to you guys about things that we feel like has helped us. And I feel like we started it off with confidence.
Let's get into it,
Let's get into confidence.
That's like one of the strong and kind of like the obvious ones, right? Like confidence is truly everything. It changes the way you walk, the way you talk, the pep in your step. Like confidence is honestly like the foundation.
Absolutely.
And I really think that finding your confidence, or at least just having confidence, is honestly a practice. It's like a mental exercise. Like one day you're gonna be confident, one day you're not gonna be confident. First and foremost, you have to identify like what makes you feel confident.
Absolutely.
Right? So like whether that be having your hair done, right? Whether that be talking to yourself in the mirror. Because that was for me. Like sometimes some people find confidence in external things like clothes. That's cool. Be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Be honest about what helps you feel confident. And if you got to trick your mind into it, whatever it is that helps you, like if you feel like you need to trick your mind, do that. Whatever works for you. For me, it was talking in the mirror. Yeah. And I learned this at a very young age, which is kind of wild, like in retrospect. But like, you know, in middle school, when you're going through your little girl drama and stuff, I used to wake up in the morning and like tell myself, like, you don't need to be friends with them. They don't want to talk to you. You don't need to talk to them. Because I don't even remember what I used to say, but like, you better than that. Yeah. Basically was the gist of
self-talk,
what I was saying.
confident self-talk.
I was saying something that a 12-year-old would tell a 12-year-old. But it worked.
And that's big that you were able to identify that at a young age.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest, as an adult, I'm still learning. And I'm like, and confidence is really big for me too. Like I feel the same way that you do as far as like, what, you know, if there's things that you want to do to make yourself confident, whether it's hair, you know, whatever it is, cool.
Which, by the way, your hair looks amazing.
Thank you. Shout out to my girl, Jill does hair. She did an amazing job. Love my hair. But I agree that it's an inside job. Like I think that building self-confidence first takes you identifying what makes you not feel confident. Like, I think you have to really figure out, okay, what is it that's making me not feel, you know, secure in who I am? So I think identifying what that is and kind of getting to the root of it helps. For me, one thing that's helped me, I guess, be self-confident is rebuking overthinking. And that's something I feel like I've had to learn at an older age, like currently as an adult, because I was always overthinking. Another thing that I had to stop doing was apologizing. Like stopping apologizing, because you have to be very sure of yourself and know that the things that you want to do, that you know that is exactly what you want to do, and not feel like, oh, because this person didn't like it, that you don't want to do it. So I feel like those are some things. And also I find confidence in kind of like uplifting others. If I'm walking on the street and a girl looks cute, I like her outfit, her nose may be up in the air. She may not want to talk to me, but I'll be like, girl, you look cute. I love that shirt. And how that person reacts or responds never affects or alters who I am. So I feel like those are some like things that I like to do. And then of course, positive mindset, positive self-talk, like that's huge. I love that you said that talking in the mirror thing, because I've seen Shonda, she talked about doing that.
Well, it's a real thing. I don't know where I got that from at such a young age. Maybe I seen it somewhere like in a Disney or something, but it honestly really works. And like I said, all the things that you mentioned are great, and like what I'm talking about is cool, but it's all an exercise. It's something that you actually have to practice all the time, because you're not going to wake up confident every day, you know? And I think that a part of finding your confidence is also like silencing that harsh voice in your head. We sometimes are so hard on ourselves.
That's so true.
And I think that you have to constantly catch yourself from those thoughts and remove those thoughts out of your head. So if you're thinking like, oh my God, like I hate the way this looks, catch it and shift your perspective.
Yeah.
Like you literally have to catch yourself from talking negative to yourself.
Yeah.
It's literally like the more you do it, the more you'll realize how that little voice is like now a whisper, and all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah, I agree. And one other thing that I want to mention for confidence is sometimes you can build confidence in routine. And I feel like for me that works. And it may not work for everybody, but I know that like if I literally start my day, I'm journaling, I'm doing my devotionals, I'm praying, I'm meditating before I even step foot out that door. It's like nothing that happens, you could cut me off in traffic, like anything that can do is not going to deter who I am or like kind of get me off, off track. So I feel like just different things you can do, whether it's working out, whether it's like, eating your favorite breakfast, whether it's listening to your favorite song, making your bed. There's different things that you could do that it may sound crazy, but it literally can affect your actual confidence. Because you're like, I can handle that. I did that.
Another big part of finding your confidence and maintaining your confidence is getting rid of imposter syndrome.
Oof.
Let it go. Let it
That's
go.
a big one.
And that imposter syndrome goes hand in hand with that little voice, that negative voice in your head. That negative voice, that's imposter syndrome. Like, let it go. And I think for me, that was also an exercise.
Same.
In itself, especially when it came to my career and navigating my career in the midst of like the height of social media, where I'm seeing everybody post their successes and working with this brand and that brand, and for me, like especially like starting out as an entertainment host, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was rough for me to like stop looking at what everybody else was doing, and also to start realizing when I am in certain rooms that God put me there, and if I was not ready to be there, God would not have placed me in those rooms.
Amen.
And that's how I started to like battle that imposter syndrome.
I love that. And you know what? I love that you said that, because something else that I think is good to know is when you kind of overcome all those things, when you're in rooms with women who are equally talented or, just as talented as you are, you don't feel like your light is dim. I feel like when you work on your inner confidence, your light can shine and you could be next to somebody else whose light is shining, and y'all are equally illuminating. You know what I mean?
And you'd be surprised when you're around women like that, how everybody's just lighting each other's candle.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Confidence overall is just literally an inner working job that you have to do from the inside out. And
How do you
I feel like
deal
everything
with,
else comes to play.
Imposter syndrome though.
So for me, I feel like same with you. Like I would be like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm good enough. Like I don't want to do this. Oh, too many people are doing this. And it's like, I had to overcome that by literally, it's going to sound very, it's going to sound a little intense, but I look at life overall and I'm like, I never want to not like die and not be here on this earth and not do the things that I know that were in my heart and the things that I know that I'm capable of doing, because I'm blocking myself from those blessings. Like, I think I was listening to like another podcast where like I was reading a book or something and they were talking about, people who have like the most, I was talking about like just this guy, and I think he was telling a story about his dad driving through a cemetery, and he was saying, do you see all those like people that are out there in the cemetery? He's like, those are like a lot of dreams that didn't come to fruition because people stopped themselves ahead of like getting to that next goal. And it's like, you don't want to leave this earth not doing those things. So for me, I think it's just like overcoming that. It's like, I am who I am. You know what I mean? Like owning that confidence and just literally just operating in that space. So for me, it was just like, dang, like, I don't ever want to leave this planet and not do the things that I know that I can do because I'm blocking myself by like what I'm thinking in my mind.
Yeah, or tell yourself when you're older, like, oh, I wish I would have done that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we just need to give ourselves that harsh reality check.
Absolutely.
Like, we need to snap ourselves into reality sometimes, even though we're living all in reality, right? But very often we get lost in the sauce and we're kind of like in motion. We need to have that snap that says like, oh wait, hold on, life is happening around me.
Yeah.
Now, am I existing or am I actually living?
I love that.
So I feel you. I don't think the way you battle imposter syndrome is harsh at all. I think that we need to be very realistic with the little bit of time that we have here.
Because you can spend literally what may feel like a couple months with imposter syndrome, and it could turn into be 2, 3, 4 years down the line, and you still living in that space.
Blocking your blessings.
Blocking it. So snap out of it. You got this. You got it. You got it. Let's talk about accountability, because I feel like that's another one.
That's a rough one, and honestly, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I feel like it's really lacking in society right now. And maybe I'm talking social media society or whatever, but like nobody wants to be accountable. Nobody wants to be accountable for themselves. It's always like, I don't know, maybe it's everybody
like
feels
a woe is me kind of thing?
Yeah, woe it's me. And like maybe it's like, I don't know if social media plays a part in it, but I feel like we live in a every man for himself world right now. And because of that, people have a lack of accountability when it comes to different things. It could be in relationships, it could be in friendships, it can be in career. Like,
I think a lot of people lack discipline in that space too. Like, I feel like some people don't, especially as an adult. Like, it's one thing when like you're a child and your parents kind of telling you what to do, but it's another thing when like as an adult you're like, tell me when I'm wrong, or tell me this, tell me that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think it plays a factor in who you have in your life. Because I feel like for me, like I surround myself with people who are gonna tell me what it is and be honest.
Yep.
I may fight a little bit and be like, no, it's not that. Yes, it is that. No, 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 no. But at the end of the day, like I have to sit down and be like, you know what, they were right. You know what I mean? And I may not realize it in that moment, but I don't think accountability is always realizing when you're wrong. I think it's listening to something, taking the criticism, and then maybe maybe later down you're like, oh my God, I was wrong. It's still acknowledging it. Yeah. You know, at any given time. Yeah.
You can internally acknowledge
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. I think it's important.
A lot of the world, don't lie to yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Because you're never going to evolve and elevate that way.
Accountability has a lot to do with the people you surround yourself with, because I'm a big believer in that. Like, I have my nice friend that I can call. I have my homegirl that is going to hold me accountable if I ever needed. You get what I'm saying? I have, like, my crazy friend. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know who to call when I feel like, okay, I might need the devil's advocate right now. Like, I might need to be held accountable. Let me call Naomi, and she gonna tell me, girl, you doing a lot, you know. And so I love that you mentioned that. It's very important to, if it's not all of your friends who hold you accountable, but identifying that one friend who you can call and say, girl, let me know if I'm tripping.
So how do you feel like how do you feel like a friend should hold you accountable?
Well, it depends on your relationship with your friend, to be honest. Like, I think it's really, like, for example, for me, I'm a very straightforward friend. So if my friends, like, I'm the accountable friend that people gonna call. And to be very honest, I have learned in my friendship with you that I shouldn't be that straightforward, because everybody's emotions are different.
Wait, why you say that? Tell me.
Because my friends, I think that like my friends that the friends that I grew up with, they're used to me, and they're used to like my straightforwardness and my harshness. Whereas like you and I feel like you're sensitive, but like not in a bad way. But I have to be considerate of that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and especially like if I want this friendship to last, I have to understand my friend's feelings and respect my friend's feelings. And I have to be able to identify like, okay, I want my friend to hear what I'm saying. So let me translate that message in a way that she's actually going to receive it and not be defensive.
Got it.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think that that's important to be able to identify, like, how is your friend actually going to receive the accountability? And that's not to say that you have to baby anybody. That's not to say that you have to spoon feed anybody, whatever the case may be. But because to me, that's all noise. None of that matters.
Right.
If your actual mission is to actually hold your friend accountable and to help your friend grow.
Absolutely. And I think that for me, that's something that I've had to learn, because I feel like over time, I feel like my sensitivity has like changed later down the line.
Girl, why am I so sensitive now? And I think, but me, I don't know if it's the soft life here in Florida, the water, I don't know what it is.
It's you getting maybe it's you getting older.
Yes, but I'm much more sensitive now. And my man tells me that all the time, like, since when? And I'm like, I don't know.
Look, I be having my days, child. We all do. But I think it's important at the end of the day with accountability is to have the right people in your ear, and you know that they are going to steer you in the right direction because they want the best for you.
You know what ties into accountability for me? Giving grace.
This episode of Elevators is brought to you by McDonald's. Girl, what's wrong? You all right?
Yeah, I'm just starving after filming all of our shows. You know what I can go for right now?
What? Because whatever it is, I might be coming with you.
A fresh, juicy McDonald's Big Mac. And you know I have to have sweet and sour sauce on the side for my large French fries.
A large?
Yes, girl, I can eat. My mouth is watering right now.
You want to know what's crazy? I just saw that for the first time in 50 years, the Big Mac now comes in chicken.
Wait, what?
Yup.
No way. That sounds iconic.
I'm talking 2 juicy chicken patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, all on a sesame seed bun.
Okay, McDonald's with the 2 Big Mac options in the lineup. I love it. That's exactly what I'm having.
Well, let's get to it. What are we waiting for? You know it's only around for a limited time.
Let's go then.
The Big Mac now comes in chicken. Get it while you can.
You know what ties into accountability for me? Giving grace. And I think that giving grace is also
That's another trait.
an exercise.
It is.
But it is also a trait. And that also ties into accountability, right? Like if you're in a situation where, you know, you're having a fallout, let's say me and you fall out or whatever, I think that, you know, I have to sit down. The way I find to give grace is like I'll sit down, I'll think about the situation and think about where could I have done better, right? And, you know, as I'm sitting there trying to figure out where could I have done better, right? That's the accountability part. Then I'll start to think about, and why does she feel like this? You get what I'm saying? Why is it that she may have received what I said to her in the wrong way? And let me be clear, this is all in relation to like your family and your friends and people who are close to you and people who matter and people who affect your life. I'm not talking about external people here because that's a whole nother animal that you have to deal with in a very different way.
That we'll be more confident and, you know, able to operate in a space where you're not constantly in your mind thinking about a certain situation or something that somebody did to you. So I always say extending grace is more for you than it is for the other person. And I feel like, of course, within reason, right? Like we give grace to people that we know are going to accept the grace, but also don't self-sabotage and give grace to people that you know are going to turn around and do the exact same thing that they did to you. And then I also look at it as like from a spiritual standpoint, like, you know, I believe in God and I feel like God gives me grace, and who am I to not give somebody the same in return? You know what I mean? And I think that that's like, for me, I've always been like a forgiving person, to the point where sometimes I feel like it could be a flaw, you know what I mean? But I do think that it's still at the end of the day, like, God gonna deal with a person, you know what I mean? Like,
let God deal with it.
It's not you. So if you can just say, you know what, I forgive them, even if you don't say it verbally to them, you forgive them in your heart and you move on, that's good.
That's funny you see it as forgiving, because I definitely see it as more so just like understanding, and sometimes that understanding happens from a distance.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, especially depending on who you're giving grace to, it happens from a distance. Like, yeah, maybe your coworker had an attitude this morning, but give
It's
grace.
okay.
Maybe she had a flat tire on her way to work. You
That's
never
true.
know.
That's
you know?
true.
And that's
Grace is colorful.
yes, I like that.
It's
Grace
colorful.
is colorful. You never know.
It's different shades.
It's different shades. I really like that. That's cute.
Okay, so we have confidence, accountability, grace. What's something else you feel like we need as women in order to
Continuously evolve.
Yeah. Is meekness?
Yes. When I say meekness, I don't mean the Webster's dictionary version. Let's look at that. According to Webster's dictionary, meekness means the fact or condition of being meek, submissive, right? But I mean the spiritual definition of meekness. Meekness is a strength that comes from self-control and is the opposite of self-will, self-interest, and self-assertiveness. So meekness, according to the Webster's dictionary, is kind of looked at as a weakness, but in a spiritual way, it's actually a strength. It's a strength in silence. It's a strength in self-control and that sort of self.
So how are you using meekness in your life right now?
Well, I just learned how to shut up. Honestly, like I had to learn how to shut up. And I say it in a joking way, but it's really like a thing, like, especially like in my relationship. I've learned to like just be quiet and listen. And I really had to unlearn to not be as aggressive and quick to respond, because girl, I'm from New York. At the end of the day, I'm battling demons every day. Like, you get what I'm saying? So like I really had to learn how to just shut up sometimes and find the strength in being quiet. Being quiet and just thinking and listening and giving grace at the same time and taking accountability at the same time and being confident at the same time, and all those things, exercising all of those traits in every situation, to me, has helped me continuously evolve as a woman who's in her 30s.
I love that. I love that for you. For me, I feel like meekness is a part of like femininity and like being a woman. I feel like meekness is the way you walk into a room. It's the way that you assess a situation. It's sometimes being seen and not being heard. It's literally how your aura is. I feel like meekness ties back to aura. Like when they say, dang, her aura is just on point, you don't even have to say a word. It's just literally how you make a person feel. It's being respectful. It's being kind. It's, you know, not being loud. It's being like soft and, you know, like being gentle. Like I feel like that's a part of meekness. And I think that when you carry that and when you know when to use it, like that's your superpower.
Yeah. How about appearance?
Oh, that's huge. Appearance is huge. And it's not just about how you look, it's also about how you take care of yourself. Yeah. So for me, you know, when I'm thinking about appearance, I know we could think about the superficial things like your hair, your nails, your makeup. By the way, my nails aren't done. Your nails, your makeup. But I feel like appearance is what you do, again, from the inside out. Like everything that's internal is going to always be reflected externally. So, you know, I think that you should take pride in hygiene. Like cleanliness is next to godliness. You know what I mean? Like making sure that you're taking a shower and, you know, like all the things that you know, like the basic stuff, obviously. And then also how you step out into the world. Now I'm gonna be honest here, right? I'm not gonna sit up here and say every day I'm walking out and I got my Sunday's best, right? There's some days where I'm like running errands and I may not look, you know, up to par. But I think that when you take pride and take the time to have on your elevated casuals, or, you know, like step out into the world and be confident, like I think that it says a lot about who you are when you took the time to do those things. So I try, you know, my very best in some ways to not always just go out into the world looking crazy, or just go out into the world in flip-flops. And not to say there's anything wrong with it. No, I don't even own a pair of Crocs. I'll be honest. No shade to Crocs. There's nothing wrong with Crocs, but I feel like there's a time and a place. No, but there's a time and a place for everything. You know what I mean? I think that that's what we need to realize as women. Like and we also can't be demanding and asking things of men if we're also not showing up and being a certain way. I know people might feel a little, I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I feel like if we're expecting to attract a certain type of man, then there's a certain type of woman you have to be in order to get that. That's just my take on it. Throw it out. Bars, mic drop,
baby.
I'm serious.
And you know what? I'm not mad at that. I'm all for you standing on your perspective confidently. In terms of appearance, to me, it's like, and obviously it's not a character trait, right? But I think that it is very important to maintain your appearance as a woman as you continue to get older and to have a family, because life starts to make you feel like you have to put yourself last. And I think that maintaining your appearance is not for the rest of the world. It's very much for yourself and putting yourself first. It's a way to continuously put yourself first, even though the world and society is pulling you left and right to go last. So it might be hair, it might be makeup, but for me, what's really important about appearance is like exercising. Even if you're not going to the gym, whatever it is, take a walk. Yeah. Take a walk. Keep your health
Number one,
because that to me is appearance, your health. And skincare. Let's not lie, ladies. Skincare.
Absolutely.
That's
on the top of the list.
That is, to me, skincare and health are the most important, quote unquote, appearance things that we should maintain as women. And
skincare changes as you get older. You can't keep using the same products you were using back when you were 20, in your 20s, or you were 15. No, you have to evolve with the times. So that might
it's not, again,
change.
It's not to keep up with the rest of the world. It's not for the rest of the world to see you looking young forever. No. It's for you.
It is.
Take care of yourself. The way you take care of your kids, the way you take care of your husband, the way you take care of your career.
Absolutely. And I think that it whatever is important to you too, like as we're saying these things, whatever it is that makes you feel good. Some people may not want to wear makeup and they probably want to put on a little lip gloss, but that's an appearance and that's the things that matter to you. I think appearance is definitely subjective, but I do want us to say, like, you know when you feel and when you look good, you feel good. You know when you look your best, when you feel your best. So however it is that makes you feel most confident, do those things, and don't pick and choose when to do it. Like, do it every day. Do it if nobody's watching. Just do it for you. I feel like we were putting like a number on these things, but I feel like there's so many.
I know we started with 5, but here we are at 25.
So many. But one that I have to put on the list that is huge and honestly kind of closely related to confidence is authenticity. Being authentic and owning what that means for you. Authenticity is literally what makes you unique. There's no one else in this world that is going to be, you guys don't have the same fingerprint. There's nothing in this world that makes you alike somebody. Even if you're a twin, there's things that separate you from somebody else. And I think that a lot of people, say that, oh, you can't be authentic because people are copying each other and they're, doing different things. Hear me out. You can be inspired by somebody, but still taking it and making it your own. Everybody is finding inspiration somewhere.
There's very much a difference between inspiration and imitation. And I think that, especially in a world today where everything's like through social media or whatever the case may be, everybody gets quote unquote inspired to wear this or wear that. But I think that we have to really identify, are you being inspired to say, hey, I love the fact that Amanda has this like green situation going on here, which don't get me wrong, this is just an example, but like Amanda has this green top on, it's very cutesy. I'm gonna go get the top, right? That's fine. This is a bad example because this is clothing.
No, but I know where you're going. I know where you're going with it. I know where you're going with it.
I'm gonna keep going with it. So, all right, I could either go get the top in green, which is imitation, or I could say, well, this is like very presidential. Let me go get something a little different, but like gives the same vibe. Yeah. Now that's inspiration. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't get the same clothes. Don't shoot me because y'all be getting crazy. But there's a difference between imitation and inspiration. Agreed. One is where you are taking something, you're like, oh, this is cool, but I'm gonna do it a little like this because like this is a little more organic for me. And then there's another version that says, oh, I'm gonna do the same exact thing this person did and do it the same exact way. And after a while, when you're imitating somebody, you get tired of it because it's not organic to you. So
you can only keep up the act for so long.
You can only keep up the act
keep it up for so long. And I think this kind of goes back to what I was saying about, your time here on this world. Like, how much of that time are you going to spend being somebody you're else. Not? How much of it? Like, the people who love you, the community that's going to support you, whether it's your family or friends or complete strangers, you're going to find your tribe just by being who you are. Like, people are going to gravitate to you based on who you are and your uniqueness. And I think that just being authentic is what sets you apart from anyone else. And I think it's the best self-love that you can give yourself is to just be your truest self at your core. Like, I believe in authenticity so much.
I think all the traits that we talked about today are great traits to practice as women, young women, or older women, just women in general, as we continue to grow. I think these specific traits that we talked about, exercising them will really help you continue to grow as a woman and navigate in this stressful world
Yes, and be
Like
your
a
best
feather.
self.
And be your
Yes,
best self.
and I know there's so many topics that we didn't mention that there's so many things that we can add to it. And if there are other things that you guys want us to talk about that
to
in
us in the comments.
our opinions of how we evolve, definitely hit us up in the comments. Let us know whatever traits you think that we should. Because I feel like this could be like a 3-part series.
No, for sure. But I think the ones that we talked about today
Are very important.
like very, very important. And, you know, some things that people already talk about, and then some points are a little more untraditional and not, you know, typical traits that people would think about.
Yeah.
So I hope this episode was helpful to you guys. Like, comment, subscribe,
Yes.
share. We have seen you guys sharing our social clips. Thank you so much for sharing. Make sure you tag us when you
It
share.
means so much. We love you guys.
But yeah, talk to us. Stay tuned. And we'll talk to you guys on the next episode of Elevators Podcast.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program, introducing Lem
Hey.
and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip hop could be hop hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.